Interruptions are inevitable.
From glad to glad, I know the mountain song. The sun is gone, and all.
Like Jacob, I consider interruptions a thread to be woven within a creation. These are organic litanies, the call and response in connections. And my brother gave me an opportunity to demonstrate how I could weave an interruption into our ongoing litany by confronting it with dimension, delicacy, diligence, and devotion. It was Monday. I completed the methods video and, per my brother's request, sent the hot off the press notification. Well, after I deleted the first accidental notification with the wrong link. Sorry, I sent the wrong link the first time, so I deleted it. So that's it. I would love to know your input on it, especially since there's a little cameo of you in there, which is so cool. It was late for him since he is 2 hours ahead on the East Coast. I was so excited for his response since we'd been riffing so much about methods. Keeping in mind, I've already set the engagement foundation both behind the scenes through our lifelong relationship, but also on the scenes in my Tread Lightly video. Engagement foundations are the nutrients for my cahooters collaborating in this co-creation. To his wise counsel.
Basically, just pointing out what you noticed that's working well. There's no sort of like critique or suggestions of like, oh, I thought maybe you could do this, or it might work better if you did this, or I didn't understand that. But given that, all of the pieces will be, at most 7 weeks old or 8, if I can, I don't know. But new that, I don't want us to sort of put any kind of sort of negativity on a piece that, is just really making its debut into the world. The authors are just starting to think about it perhaps and haven't had time to return to it. So just to sort of,
My cahooters were counting in the comments section, demonstrating their collaboration by showing how to layer their voice in this space. My brother is a self-governance guy, one of the many things he specialized in professionally, consulting with organizations of various sizes to create and implement effective governance policies. Self-governance means taking personal responsibility for commitments. For him, it's been a lifelong balancing act to negotiate the desire to explore his interest while maintaining interpersonal connections, which can collide at times as he attempts to balance his needs with others and subsequently creating an interference in the connection. It was Tuesday. He kept me informed his day was filled with exploration.
Hey, Kimmy, I'm going to have to listen to your messages after I finish this museum because it closes at 4 and it is fascinating. Oh my God.
I was happy to wait my turn, which came just after 5.
Okay, Kimmy, I'm getting my head above water finally. Wow. So I watched the video. I liked it a lot. I thought the part about high context is a little ambiguous. You just kind of said, oh, high context and low context. And then you just said the US is low context, and then you didn't really say even what context means or why or.
It was a gut punch. My inner committee went into conference. How did I respond? Did I respond at all, or just let it pass? I slept on it. It was Wednesday. I made my latte and pulled open my journal to give the inner committee space to process the information. And at 7:34 a.m., we all agreed to proceed with our litany. And then I saw that you messaged me. And I was like, oh, I was waiting, like, oh, what's Kip got to say about what's Kip got to say about the video? Whoops. I just dropped my phone. So I'm going to send you the recording of your recording so this can be in context. As soon as it started, I'm getting my head above water, finally, I felt a gut punch. I was like, uh-oh. And what I'm getting from this moment was this interesting intersection of you, all the things that were happening for you yesterday that brought you underwater, including wanting to support me. And this is something I saw with the kids, right? This heart of yours, so wanting to support people that you can get underwater. So, underwater to me would be like, that below the line, so much is weighing on you. Below the line.
One question that conscious leaders ask themselves over and over is, where am I? To support leaders in locating themselves as they ask the question, where am I? We offer this tool, a line, a simple black line. At any moment, all leaders and all people are either above the line or below the line. Our location describes how we're being with what is occurring in our life right now. If we're above the line, we are open, curious, and committed to learning. If we are below the line, we are closed, defensive, and committed to being right. Stop right now and simply ask yourself, where am I? In this now moment, am I above the line or below the line? Typically, when people are below the line, they believe certain things about the world. For example, they believe there is not enough. It could be that there's not enough money, or time, or space, or energy, or love. People below the line also believe that their story about the situation is right. People below the line also believe that there is a threat out there. Something or someone is threatening their desire for approval, control, or security. And people below the line see the situation as serious. The deeper below the line they are, the more serious things look. People below the line tend to behave certain ways as well. They tend to cling to an opinion, find fault and blame, gossip, explain, rationalize and justify, get overwhelmed, and avoid conflict or pursue conflict for the sake of winning. When people are above the line, they believe that learning and growing are more important than being right. They believe that all people and circumstances are their allies, here for their growth. They believe that from a distance, almost everything is funny. People above the line live in curiosity, listen deeply, speak unarguably, question all their beliefs, and live a life of play. Now, knowing what you know about being above or below the line, where are you? One thing to know as you consider this question. We are hardwired to go below the line. Literally, our brain is programmed to perceive threat, and when it does, a chemical cocktail courses through our veins, and we go below the line. This reaction was designed to help us survive in the presence of a real threat to our physical survival. An issue for modern-day leaders is that often our brains can't tell the difference between a threat to our physical survival and a threat to our ego or identity. We react and get defensive when we experience a threat to our ego. So in many ways, being below the line is natural and normal. But when we are below the line, we're not in a state, literally brain state, of high creativity, collaboration, innovation, and relational connection. We're simply trying to survive. Leaders today can't thrive if they're in survival mode. So the first activity of conscious leadership is location, location, location. In this now moment, where am I? Telling ourselves and others the truth about our current location begins the great conversation.
In Love's playlist, The Story Better, I shared my experience how I discovered the line model, which ironically dropped me below the line. When layering the line model with the emotional frequency levels conveyed by Dr. David Hawkins in his book Power versus Force, The Hidden Determinants of Human Behavior, the underlying tone can be mapped onto the location the message is being conveyed. Kip's underwater conveyed fatigue while layered with being lost but curious, is the exemplification of a double bind, when a seemingly supportive message can turn into a gut punch. Returning to my response to Kip, and, wanting to show your support And also, this is something that we went through with Wendy's class. And man, did I fucking do this to you? Did I do this to my classmates? Absolutely. I remember that piece that you did where you were describing you driving Sophia and you were trying to park. And I took that piece and I just slashed it. You were like so hurt. And then you step back and you go, but I see her intention here. And that's what we've been raised in. And it is so, it's so, in our desire to support each other, we will say, this didn't work for me. And you were saying that it's so ironic. Think about it. The low context didn't work for you. I was like, the irony of that. You're demonstrating the low context, just like that freaking flat audio I sent you was demonstrating, but then I had the backup. Like, just it's so astounding to see it being demonstrated. And as soon as I heard this little clip I sent you, I was flattened, instantly taken down, like someone to your point, you said to the point. It's like someone took that point and popped my balloon. I was showing I've been there, that I too have participated in the constructive criticism realm and believed it was how to support others. I layered in the context of his busyness, intersecting his desire to support, and the confluence of all this pressure can drop a person below the line and convey responses created in this zone. I wasn't ready to give up. I was reaching across the gap, demonstrating the trust in our connection.
3 hours later.
It was just after noon when his response came.
Hey, Kim, it's just such a testament to authenticity that we have this intimacy that we can tell each other when things come up in a relationship that hurt us or make us curious or we don't know where it came from. I was like so excited to watch that video because your last video was just like incredible. I was really like, fuck, she's really like hitting it out of the ballpark. And then when you said you were going to do the next video on that video that I sent you, David Brooks, talking about how cultural change starts from the heart when people in very small groups live in a different way and other people copy them. I was kind of expecting something around there. And, but I'm always really open and curious about your videos and your way of showing up. So that actually was not anything that was creating attention for me, but I did really want to understand. I think, you know, when I finally did get to see your video and, you know, I was actually at the gym and I was like, I got to do this now because I really want to see it. And I was just running from place to place. And so I was working out so I could kind of listen to it and watch some of the images, but I mostly listened to it. And that was the one part I just didn't get. It was really coming from a place of curiosity and wanting to really master and understand Shiro. So that's where that comment came from. But I completely understand this thing of how sensitive a creator can be in the moment of creating. And so, yeah.
I felt a thump, a drop, as my hope dashed. It was a double down. Justification through retracing the path to disconnect. As he said, when I finally got to your video, I was at the gym. I've got to do this now because I really want to see it. The very justification for the disconnect placed upon me the responsibility to reconcile the gap. It's an often invisible line in relationships that divide self-governance. I have built many bridges covering gaps of connection by reaching far into the other zone to cover the drops in communication. A person can be curious and a person can be distracted exploring their curiosity. It certainly was possible I didn't link the concepts together tight enough that I lost the trail when he said, That one part I didn't get, but the clues of the missing link of him not getting it were pointing to a drop on his side through distractions. Wednesday closed, and from my brother's perspective, our disconnect had been reconciled. I sat with the response to our litany, wondering if I had it in me to try again. Thursday, I repeated my ritual: latte, journal, and a Hail Mary. Good morning, brother. Oh. So there's a disruption happening with us, which is so funny because this disruption is kind of the point. It's really interesting. So uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to lay it out for you on the X-plane. I'm going to lay the X-plane out for you and hope that this will bring me some peace. Bringing me some peace is being able to find that common ground between us. So I've been laying this out this morning. I woke up really, really early. I think this has just been on my mind. And when something's on my mind, I really need to put it outside of me to see it in order to put it to bed, to put it to rest, one way or the other, put it to rest. Find the acceptance. I really need to work through something until I can find the acceptance and the clarity of what is this that's happening. And so I go through a lot of I put a lot of attention and focus on any small little thing, because small things tell big stories. And if I keep it in a small level, it doesn't fester into something really big. So anyways, I just wanted to share with you what I laid out. And I proceeded to lay out point by point the litany of our conversation. Kip's perspective. I was so excited to watch that video because your last video was incredible. And then you said you were going to do the next video on the one I sent you, what you were expecting. But I'm always really open to understand. When I finally did get to see your video, I was at the gym. I've got to do this now. But either way, I feel shitty. I feel shitty saying, this is yours. I feel shitty having to confront because direct confrontation is the short straw. And that's the hard I've had to sort through many relationships and shut down connection because the repeated pattern of me having to work through the other's lack of awareness. It keeps me trapped into I was discouraged and I felt myself shut down. And then I journaled this morning. Did I just let it go and know this will pass? It was certainly an option. Clearly, I chose to try again. But when it comes to you, I will keep trying because I'd rather keep trying to connect with you, even if it means an overextension on my part, than lose our connection. I appreciate my brother took the time to go through these points. I appreciate anyone willing to zoom into these details to understand the incredible complexity behind communication that can be passed over in the name of keeping the peace while keeping the pace of distractions that run interference with connection. And yet, like Jacob, I'm willing to allow these threads to be woven into creation. These denied interferences can create waves that run over one another, and the continual denial in order to keep the peace and pace create waves of discord for the sensitives to apologize for their expression. I moved on with my day and was headed to the gym when he responded.
Oh my God, thanks for your reflections, Tim. Those are so powerful, so helpful. It's incredible how you can, in a very loving and tender way, help someone see their blind spots. And I definitely have a huge blind spot around, everything you said there, cramming too many things in and not giving the real attention that's needed for things that are important to me. So you did that in such a loving and caring way, helping me see my blind spot. I just want to thank you so much. And I'm actually going to go back and watch that video now with complete full attention on it, as opposed to working out and watching the video, and see what comes up for me on the second reading. And I'm so glad that you took the time to love, really showed the love to help me. I love you so much.
It seems strange to show love by confronting these blind spots. These are decisions I make constantly in my connections. They are never easy for me. I would much rather have my connections run smoothly, but disruptions happen for us all, and those who are sensitive are left dealing with the pace that denies these subtleties.
Hey, brother. Wow. Talk about holding tension. When I heard your response, I was aware of how much tension I was holding, and I just felt a flood of emotions welling up, and I felt the release of feeling the responsibility and the weight of that. It was really huge. And as I was listening, I was headed towards Jen, and there's two bald eagles soaring together. And I turned around to get a video, but they were moving out of my sight. So I was like, dang it, I'm not going to get them. But I just felt like that was us. Like it was just this nature reflecting back to me what we just went through. These two eagles in the sky, bald eagles, beautiful, doing this beautiful circling, meandering. I just felt nature gesturing to me this moment.
With wandering eyes, I find you, a steeple on a hill, standing tall, showing all who come along. We're somewhere we